just general crowd noise. You can use it.
And I feel sorry for you and your lack of soul.
Hi, how you doing, man? Thank you very much for coming on the Big Tent podcast for Circus Bazaar Magazine. Just so the audience understands, this interview is being conducted with an individual that wrote an article called Escape from Ukraine, in which he was able to get out of Ukraine and avoid the consequences of the nation at war. So for journalistic purposes, his identity has been disguised and hidden. And we'll just have a conversation with him so we can get a grasp of his story and the circumstances which led to his getting out of the country. So let's go forward. Hi, how you doing, my friend? My name is Shane Caldwell. I'm the editor and owner of Circus Bazaar Magazine. Can you please introduce yourself to the best of your ability while still disguising your identity?
My name is Ivan and I'm 44 years old. I'm from Kiev. I was born in Kiev and now I'm living in Berlin with my family. I have 3 children. About me, yeah, I think that's all.
Why don't you just start from the beginning? Where were you when the war started, and just describe the events?
We were in our sleeping room and it was about 5 or 6 in the morning. And when it started, we couldn't believe that the bombs actually started landing. I remember this feeling. It can really happen. But we didn't really believe that this was real life. I remember that we didn't know what to do. We stayed at home and I started thinking about what I could do. The first day I was at home and all day I just read the news and updated the social network where I can find some news. But yeah, we started. I called some people that I know and I found one person who also can do something but not stay at home because you start getting crazy because you don't know what to do. You need to do something. And we went to the place where the government started to share guns. I mean like guns. Automatic weapons. But they closed this event very quickly and I decided what I can do more. And we start to help our soldiers on the outside of the city and we go to the shop and buy some food. Some clothes for them. We ask them what they need and yeah, but on the 4th day I thought that it's not good to stay in Ukraine, in Kiev, especially with my family. I thought about them because it was really dangerous. The explosions got closer and closer around Kiev, and we decided to move west and try to get across the border. At the border there was a huge line. It took 3 days for us to get to the border guards. My wife asked the soldiers or the people who guarded the border if we could all cross the border because she has cancer and we have just 2 children. But that was not enough. When you want to cross, when the man wants to cross the border, he should have at least 3 children or some person in the family should have some very bad health. I mean the paper where you can prove that one of your family members is not in a good condition. We didn't have this. So yeah, I decided to cross the border at night. I found one man who knew the place around the border and he told me how I could cross and then I went and waited. I switched off my telephone and I saw the place where the soldiers were located, where the people illegally crossed the border. And yeah, I started my way through the small forest. I think it took about 1.5 hours because I moved very slowly and sometimes I stayed and thought and watched the stars, the sky and pictured my family. My wife was waiting on the other side of the border and she picked me up.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, I hope you are enjoying this podcast. We just wanted to remind you that Circus Bazaar Magazine is entirely self-funded and a wholly independent publication. We have no large investors or corporate backing. We don't even take government support. We would like to believe that the only true way to remain independent is to actually be independent. But at the end of the day, that is not only impossible, but it's also undesirable. For without you, the audience, we are performing to nothing. just an ether of empty space with no life, no colour or purpose. So we do in fact survive on the goodwill and support of those whom we are dedicated to perform. You. That is why we decided to, in part, move away from the digital space and all its overzealous corporate control and manipulation and produce something real, honest and tangible. Something that can't be taken away at the push of a button. Something that you can hold in your hand that has a sense of unalterable permanency. Circus Bazaar Magazine is the best of which we have to offer, and in many ways our gift to freedom of speech of which we will always remain dedicated. Our promise to you is that we will never compromise our principles of diverse viewpoints and fearless critique of the human realm of which we both know as a circus. So in turn, if you appreciate our work and feel like we make a contribution to independent free media, then please head over to Circus Bazaar and subscribe to the print edition of the magazine. All details can be found in the description section. Thank you for listening to the Big Tent Podcast, brought to you by Circus Bazaar Magazine, penned from the crooked timber of humanity. Keep enjoying the show. Was there any border guards at the border?
I think yes. They have dogs and bodyguards, but I tried not to be seen. I didn't see anyone, but they go there because there is some ground that they know people are crossing. I know that footprints were visible from others, and I know I left footprints on the grounds also.
What are the repercussions for you now, going back to Ukraine?
I think it's a difficult question. It depends. I think I have two cases here. How it can develop, I don't know. One of them results in me being taken and put in the army. And second, and since they didn't see me cross the border, I can always say that I crossed the border for only a couple of days. But that may just not be possible. Now the border is more protected. I mean, they use night glasses where they can see the people in the night. They started using drones, and it's more difficult now to do the same way as I did.
Have many other people got out of Ukraine by the same way? You say something in your article about bribing officials.
I think yes. I don't think that a lot of people, but some people pay money for it and some people do it by themselves. But I think more than 10,000 people have tried to do it. I have read in the article how many people have crossed the border illegally, but I think this amount is less than the real amount. I think it's more than 20,000 women, and I think it's about 100,000 men.
So did you leave your home in Kiev?
We left our home and we left our car. My wife can go back to Ukraine and we can solve some questions that we have in Ukraine. We left everything. We took just one big bag on our back. We left a cat, but a friend helped me to feed them.
Have you heard of any other individuals that have been caught crossing the border?
Personally, no. I have just read some posts in social networks about people who cross at night, but personally, no.
Okay, well, I don't think I have any other more questions for you other than your description of events that supports the little bit of writing that you did for this edition of the magazine, which I think is very, very important because a lot of the articles are analysis, but your article is pure human experience. So, yeah, thank you very, very much for writing the article. And thank you very, very much for trusting us with the concealment of your identity and participating in the little podcast. So, have you got anything else you'd like to just explain before we finish up?
No, thank you. Thank you very much for your interest in my story and to the Ukrainian story and how deeply you have explored the issue and to share this problem.
I think we all hope that this ends sooner rather than later and on terms that enable you to continue on with your life properly. So, okay, thank you very much, and you take care, all right?
Thank you. Bye-bye.